So today I'll be sharing my favorite simple no-bake dessert recipe, tiramisu. So tiramisu is a popular Italian dessert that is made from layers of coffee dipped ladyfinger cookies and whisked mascarpone cheese with eggs, and then it's dusted with some cocoa powder. This recipe is a non-alcoholic version of a classic tiramisu, but by all means feel free to add some brandy or alcohol if you choose to. Alright, let's get started. So I'll quickly walk you through all the ingredients we need for this recipe. As always, all ingredients and tools are listed in the description box below. So we'll need some dark cocoa, we'll need some whipped cream, we'll need some espresso, which I made a few hours earlier and then chilled in the fridge. You'll need some mascarpone cheese. You want to make sure that's at room temperature before you start using it. You'll need some fresh eggs. I'll be showing you how I pasteurize my eggs for those who are a little queasy about using fresh eggs for the recipes. And then we'll need some sugar, which is divided into two, ladyfinger cookies, and then some dark chocolate. So to pasteurize your eggs, you want to heat your water to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to make sure the water is about that temperature and not rising before you put your fresh eggs in. Typically, I make sure my eggs are at room temperature before I put them in the water. I leave them in for about 3 to 5 minutes and then take them out and put them in some cool water. So pasteurizing your eggs reduces the risk of contracting salmonella from egg white. So if you're a little queasy about using raw eggs for this recipe, make sure you do this first. In 2 clean bowls, separate your egg yolks from your egg whites. You want to make sure your egg yolks do not break into your egg whites. If the egg yolks break into your egg whites, you will not get stiff peaks with your egg whites when you whisk them. So next you want to add some sugar into the egg yolks and whisk the egg yolks until pale in color and it reaches the ribbon stage. So this is exactly what you want it to look like. And then when you pick up your whisk, you'll find that the egg yolk will form ribbons when they trickle down back into the bowl. Now add your mascarpone cheese and then blend in completely with the egg yolks. So first you can use your spatula to break down the mascarpone cheese and then whisk until everything is very well incorporated. So that's exactly what you want it to look like, and that's looking really good. So next you want to take your whipping cream and then whip that until you get stiff peaks. So that's what you want that to look like as well. And then next you want to whisk your egg whites. So as you whisk your egg whites, you want to add in your sugar gently and slowly until you get stiff peaks with your egg whites as well. So now it's time to start putting everything together. So fold in your whipped cream into your mascarpone and egg mixture. And you want to fold that gently so you do not mix out all of the air. So keep folding until it's well incorporated. Next, so you should look that way. So next you want to fold in your whisked egg whites. So you put in half of it first and then fold that in gently. So again, you want to be careful with this so you do not mix out all of the air that you incorporated into the eggs. Pour in the rest of the whisked egg whites and again fold that in until everything is well incorporated and you no longer see any streaks of egg whites in the mixture. So now it's looking really good. So now it's time to start creating the tiramisu. You want to dip the ladyfingers into the cold espresso really quickly and then lay them at the bottom of your dish. So you want to make sure you don't keep them in the espresso for too long or they'll get really soft and soggy, and that's not what you want. So again, you want to make sure that your espresso is really strong, or you can also use coffee if you prefer, so that way the coffee flavor shines through the tiramisu dessert. So keep going, and as you lay the ladyfingers into your dish, make sure they're very close together. So lay them tightly together so that way you get really nice layers of cookies and then also nice layers of the creamy mascarpone cheese mix. So put in half of the mascarpone cheese mix and then just layer that on top. Spread on top using your spatula, and then you're going to want to create another layer of ladyfinger cookies. Again, you'll dip them quickly into the espresso mixture, and then again you want to make sure all those ladyfingers are placed tightly together, and make sure you're not dipping them into the espresso for too long so it won't get soggy. Now I'll quickly say that when you're picking your ladyfingers, make sure you pick the thin and narrow ladyfingers, the ones that are nice and crunchy. You don't want to pick the ones that are soft, if not it becomes a real mushy mess. So keep going until you fill in all the holes like I'm doing. And then top it off with the rest of the mascarpone cheese mixture. So if for some reason you cannot find ladyfinger cookies, an alternative would be to use a sponge cake, and that would also work as well and will also be as nice. There are also recipes for ladyfinger cookies online if you want to search for a good recipe, but it's just easier to buy ladyfingers if you can find them in the store. So smooth this out, and then what you want to do next is cover it with some plastic wrap and then leave it in the fridge for about 8 hours at least, or overnight, so that it can set and so that all the flavors can meld together before you serve it. So after the tiramisu has been resting in the fridge for about 8 hours, you can top it off with some chocolate shavings before you serve it, and then also dust it with some dark cocoa powder. So I usually like having a thick layer of cocoa powder on my tiramisu, so you can be as generous or as light as you want to be with the cocoa powder. So once you're done dusting the cocoa powder, it's ready to serve. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this recipe, especially if you try it out. I'm sure you'll love it. And again, this just takes a little planning ahead, but it's so easy and requires no baking at all. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and your friends and family will too. All right, you take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.